Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I build model kits, Lego sets. I'm doing that tonight. A model kit in particular. We're waiting for a few more folks to join us. It's a Saturday evening, and that's always a busy time for folks. And of course, a lot of people are probably at the movies. If any indication is of that, everyone is at the movies. So I'm not expecting a huge turnout, but we'll see if a few more folks want to join us before we get to building. If you're currently a subscriber, throw the Bear Cave emote or the Lego emote in there, or you could just say hi. Epic Open World says, "Hey Pat, chat, long time no see. Totally my fault." Epic Open World, great to have you back. Welcome. Um, Also, Harold, thank you for hosting. I should say that. We are going to get to building. We're finishing up our Zaku 2, Char Zaku 2, the perfect grade. We've done the legs, we've done the arms, we've done the chest. We're finishing off the waist. Then we have to build the weapons, and then we're done. Lashbrook, resubscribe. That's 19 months. Thank you so much, Lashbrook. Very much appreciate it. That is, as always, if you're subbing, either with using Twitch Prime or spending actual cash, make sure you, like Epic Open World just did, turn that put that notice up so that we can all say thank you. Let's throw the Bear Cave emote and Lego emote, or if you're a tier 2 or 3, the Scythe emote, and thank Epic Open World with 4 months and Lashbrook with 19. Thank you very much to both of you. As I said, we're going to wait for a minute or two, see if a few more folks want to join us. I'm planning on doing a video in May where I kind of take a look at the differences between the different scales, 144, master grade, the 1/100 master grade, and then the 160 scale, perfect grade. So here is what we're working on so far, right? So this is our Jam just subscribed. That is 17 months. Thank you so much, Jam, for that 17 months. That's incredible. I appreciate it very much. I'm gonna throw the emote in there, thanking you for that. That's rad. But yeah, so this is our head and our chest. Compare that with Ultron's here. Hello, Ultron. Compare that with a master grade that we just built. This master grade, okay, so this is perfect grade, right? 1999. So not only, let's look at a 1999 kit, this size. Let's compare it with a 2002 master grade. This is a 2002 master grade that we just built, the Spiegel. So head, like these are the differences that we're dealing with here. It's on 160 to 100 is like the leg is the size of a master grade. That's what I really want to point out there. This is probably a better comparison. So 2002, it's got screws in it, good size kit, 1/100 scale. The leg of a Zaku 2 is the size of a master grade from 2002. 1999, 2002. We will also, when it's done, take a look at the 160 scale high grade that we've built, which is it's a non-grade, but it's really a high grade. We'll take a look at that and compare the two 160 scales that we have in our collection. We have 3, so we could also look at the Wing Zero. Put those Zaku legs on that Spiegel. What? Ultron, that's not, unfortunately, that's not going to work. They're not going to, I don't think so. Yeah, I'd have to do some major kit bashing to get this to fit into that, I think. I could take a look. Too bad, says Ultron. Epic Open World says, so I bought a ticket to Endgame online and went to the theater and couldn't figure out why the machine said I didn't have a ticket. Turns out I bought a ticket for the wrong theater. Oh, Epic Open World. I have done that before. I have bought, the wrong AMC theater. You put your preferences in, and then you end up with one that is for a different space altogether. I have been there. That sucks. Yeah, that's not gonna that is not gonna play. I can look at that. Also, these legs, it's reversed. The way that the legs snap onto the middle here is reversed from how it's gonna do here. So there are pegs sticking out of the waist of the Spiegel. So that unfortunately is not possible. We could kit bash a little bit with our 1/160 scales, possibly. Zimlord says, "Hey, Pat and chat. Hello, Zimlord." Or Zimlorog. Zimlorog, hello. Apologize. Read your name wrong. But yeah, so this is a big old foot. As I said, comparing that, the 160 scale is remarkably large compared to the 1/100 scale, which is generally, as you know, the scale I like working in. I like working in 1/100 master grades or the full mechanics line I really enjoy. We'll have that soon. So yeah, that's a big robot. We're building a big old Gunpla. Let's go to the main feed. We've got some folks here in the chat watching. If you're watching, hey, I didn't say this in a couple videos. If you're watching this on YouTube, hello. Thank you for watching the archives on YouTube. I'm happy to have you as well. I know not everyone can watch live, and there are plenty of people that can't watch 3 times a week. I know that I do quite a bit of that. Hello, dude. I'm going to drink a little water. My throat's a little parched here. So, I'm going to put this aside for a little bit because we are going to need that soon. We don't have a lot left of this kit, the Char Zaku 2. We are going to work on the armor for the waist, the shield, the shoulder spike, the axe, the gun, and then assembly. And then we will move on to the next kit. So, I'm excited to finish this up. This has been a really fun kit. Shout out to Brown Lantern out there for purchasing this off my wish list. It's always fun to work on something that's a little challenging, and certainly a perfect grade is a challenge. Okay, so this is gonna go. It's gonna go back on here. That thing is the piece that likes to pop off, which is frustrating. But hey, rather it fall off than break off, right? All right, so then this goes on here, and this is. Yep. Okay. All right, now we can put all the armor on around, but we will need some of this. But I'm excited that this is like, I really do enjoy this kit quite a bit, but I'm also happy to move on to the next project, right? Like, we're going to build the Saiyan space pod, which also includes the Vegeta. So we have not. Did we do? We might have done Vegeta in Super Saiyan Blue, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan. We might have. I don't remember. We've done a lot of kits, so I actually don't. Sim says, I have a 144, the 1 over 144. I always just say 144. Real grade Zaku waiting to be built. Seeing that leg, wish I had gotten the 160. I like bigger models. Yeah, I mean, look, first of all, Zim, the number one thing we found is, or at least that I found is, it's the 1999 of it, not the 160 of it. That's the trouble, right? The issues are, it's a very condensed book for a lot of pieces. I mean, this is a 14-page book, so it's a lot of steps that should be multiple steps are just crammed together. There's little to no English documentation on the internet for the instructions. Because it's from 1999, there's a lot of screws in it. So, like, to me, that is the stumbling blocks with this kit, isn't the size of it. Now, as I just said earlier, and I'm repeating myself, certainly, I like the 1/100 Master Grade. That is a sweet spot for me as far as price and the length of a build, and I like the size of it. That's, to me, I prefer. Real grades, I think, are interesting, but I'm okay with not doing real grades or, we have three 144 high grades waiting to be built in the wings, and someday we'll just do all 3 in a row to knock them out. We've got the Endless Waltz version of the Sandrock, because the master grade version of that is, they only made so many of them, and it's very expensive, so we bought the high grade version, which is cheaper. We've got that to build. That's actually the 1/100 scale, but it's still high grade. And then we've got the Noble Gundam, and we've got a Leo from Wing, and the high grades. Those are the high grades we have to build, and we'll do them at some point. I'm not in any rush to do those, but sooner or later we'll get them done. Because high grades, Here's the thing. High grades, yes, very reasonably priced, but also very quick and easy to build. They rely on stickers quite a bit, which I'm not as much of a fan of, as y'all know. All right, that's another sheet that is done. Um, but I'm doing this to stream the content, right? Like streaming me build stuff. So a build that gets done in 2 hours on stream is fine and like a good evening, in front of the TV or whatever, or catching up on podcasts and doing some building. But for someone that is doing this 6 hours a week, a 2 hour build is a bit of a bummer. It's only nice to have like those Lego sets for when I'm traveling. That's really nice to have. But yeah, all right. Let's see. So we're putting some rubber pieces here on the sides of the skirt, which are going to be used to hold our weapon. Our axe could go on the side if we wanted, and then large piece goes in there. All right, that's that. We'll finish our weapons and then we'll start assembly. Our weapon and our various armor that we have left to build. We finally get to chip out this big piece here. I will say this: even though it's supposed to be pretty solid, the fact that the shield is so few pieces is surprising to me. I would have thought that this would have been a bit of a bigger, a more involved thing. But only because of the scale, the fact that it's a perfect grade, and there's so much in all the internal pieces that I would have thought that that everything would have been like a ton of pieces, but this is certainly not. Then we got to put P9, which is our rubber connectors. I only have so many left, so it's pretty easy to find them. But yeah, this is very 1999. Like, how much fucking rubber is in this kit? Feels very like of the time. As a way to get things put together and sorted. Hope you're all having a good evening here on this fine Saturday. I didn't do much today. I mostly hung out in the old apartment. I went and got groceries at one point, but other than that, didn't really do much. Kind of took it easy on this Saturday. But yeah. Hope you're all doing well. Have not been to the movies. Obviously, no spoilers. None of that shit. But I myself have not been to the movies this weekend. Don't really want to justify the price of admission. So with these model kits, do they make color variants or they all stand in canon color? So Epic Open World. Certainly a perfect grade isn't going to take risks, right? You've got the Zaku 2, you got Char Zaku 2. Basically the same kit, right? Slight differences, mostly color differences, but that's canon, right? That's part of the story. Other than that, you're really not going to deal with with many differences, because the perfect grade is very expensive. It's a very expensive kit, and generally there's maybe two classes of people, right, that are going to like these. There's people that want exactly how it was on the show, and people that want a mod. And the people that want a mod want to mod themselves, and the people that want it perfect want it perfect. So they don't want like maybe. And then also, here's the fun thing. Down the road, if they want to, well, they could put out a variant if they thought that would sell. Collector's edition that they only make 10,000 of because they know they're going to sell 10,000 of them. That's certainly possible. But yeah, you're not really going to run into too many like people or people are like, well, I love Char Zaku, but I would like it like this. Like there's like a thing that they do like at conventions only, or in certain other instances as well. Like, you can get the Tall Geese 2 with a special metallic plastic, like metallic looking plastic. Like, yes, they flooded the market. Everyone that bought one bought the original that wanted it, and now they can sell a few to people that are like, oh, there's this other version of it. I want that too. And they can kind of sell it again. So it does happen, but generally not in something like this and this scale. That's really a master grade or high grade kind of scale for that. Because I certainly don't know. I don't know anything about how much it costs to make these things and to mass produce them. I am no expert in that by any means. I mean, I'm not an expert in anything really, but I have no knowledge of that. So I have no idea how expensive it is to, for them to make a perfect grade. But this is mostly like supply and demand of like people who just fucking want it so bad they won't shut up about it, and so like, fine, we'll make it. My friend Brad Gross, does a lot of customizing. He does a lots of kit bashing and mods. He'll buy an RX-78 and then put battle damage, and he'll find a bunch of photos from a famous battle and replicate that, or do it himself, like his own take on it. Like that to him is really interesting and fun. That's never something that I've been into. Generally, if I say something has battle damage, it's because I fucked it up. And that is my very transparent attempt to be like, battle damage. It happens. But it is rare that I'm like, that I'm doing any of those modifications. Did you see the baseball themed kits that will be coming out? Yes, Eltron. I took a look at those. Yeah. The part of the anniversary of Gundam, I believe that's why, is that a lot of some Major League Baseball teams in Japan all have like variations, like it's a tie-in thing. And those looked interesting. It's one of those things where like, if I loved Gundam, I would, or like Gundam, I like, certainly enjoy it a lot. But if I liked a baseball team, the idea of having a Gundam from that baseball team, or like inspired by that baseball team, would be fucking unbelievable. I'd be so psyched about that shit. Because I also, clearly really like this stuff, so I'd be way into that. There are like 12 of them. Yes, I saw that. Zorb says, love seeing models that have been worn. It looks amazing when done right. Too afraid to do it myself, though. Yeah, Zorbs, you'd have to, like, I would probably buy some really cheap 144 high grades, right? Some really cheap high grades, and, like, really put a lot of time and energy into practicing that. Or, like, extra pieces that come with kits if you want to modify your kit, or sometimes because they're like, it was similar to this kit, there's some pieces that came with bolt or whatever. And I'd really be nervous about that. That's just what I do on my 35th scale armor. Oops, I'll just weather it, says Zim. Yeah, indeed. What if Gundam just played baseball? I mean, that would be cool. Yeah, that, big robots playing sports is always pretty great. Sports robots. There's something very funny about scaling up a sport to include Gundams or big robots in general. That is very funny to me. Just the thought of that. All right, so gotta get. Oops! Oh no! A piece fell. Can I find it? Where did it bounce to? It is. I do not have a duplicate of this. It is a piece of rubber. So now I have to. All right, I'm gonna take a second here. Everybody, cool out and breathe. Gotta find it. I gotta find it because it is just like this piece, so I need it for my shoulder. Did not bounce there. That's the problem when it's a rubber piece, is that often if you drop a rubber piece, it could bounce, especially because I'm dealing with hardwood here. All right, well, I will endeavor to find it. It could only be so many places. We'll move on, but I am annoyed, of course. Um, oh, Asmo's here. Hi, Asmo. I joined in at the end of that, but my baseball team is butt this year, so their Gundam would be a smoking mess that could take off, fly 50% of intended destination, and then crash to the ground, even bigger flaming wreck. I understand. I hear you. All right, so yeah, so we dropped one of these, so we can't put one of the pegs in, and then hopefully I'll be able to find it. And this will not be hard to separate and replace. But yeah, we'll see if the peg fits in. But I'm having a feeling it won't after dropping a piece. I did a lot of practice on plain sheets of styrene. That's for doing battle damage and mods. Then use oil paints to make the weathering details. Yes, I've definitely done a bit of that, of just kind of like, and sanding. Sanding is very good. You know, I have a standing stick here, which I rarely use on stream, but certainly, yeah, you could get some in with that and black paint, or Sharpie, and then putting the weathering stick on that. How big would you have to make the baseball field to count for giant robots hitting the ball? It'd be pretty big, Epic Open World. It would be pretty big. All right, this is the one of the only duplicate pieces in the kit, so we can put that in the box, put that there. But yeah, so this is not going to fit in here because I dropped that piece and can't find it, but hopefully I will be able to find it. One quick look. But yeah, hopefully it will turn up when I move all this stuff at the end of the stream, after the stream, and I'll be able to do that. I can also, if I have to, glue it in place. It kind of sits if I put it just right. All right, so we can put that aside, and we'll put this in our box, and I will fix that later. Hey, that happens. I'm not like going to stress about it. I will find what I need. I will find it at some point. Let's move on to working on our axe. We can finally use H. H only exists as the axe. So it's been sitting there. We have done no clipping of this at all. So now we can finally take our axe out, which is good. But yeah, you would have to scale up baseball quite a bit to account for Gunpla, like Gundams doing it. I think, you know, it would be quite a large field. All right, so and then I'm going to be, you know, just try to be careful that I don't drop anything else. Hopefully I'll find that piece, but luckily it is just, you know, an accent piece and isn't going to ruin anything, which is good. All right, we'll need that in a second for our gun, and we'll need this too. Done very little with this, with Q, till now. Just the eye cover. All right. This goes like this, and we'll kind of take a look at the axe so that we can see how it's supposed to look. That goes like that. Oh, looks neat. Really simple, right? This is 4 pieces. This is not like nonsense. I'm sure someone could figure out the size from the Gemlock show. They did a baseball type thing in an episode. Oh, okay. Yeah, I never finished that series. I think I watched the first like 2 or 3. It just didn't really grab me. But I'm not surprised that there's a baseball thing. That feels right. All right. Oops, this came out. So we'll try to fit that in there. Oops. All right. I said this was nice and easy, and then of course it decides to prove me wrong, but That happens. All right, there we go. Axe done. Lovely colors. It is purple. A purple axe is weird with the 3 different reds on this kit, but I guess it works. And then we will start assembling our machine gun. Just mostly this. Mostly G and a few F pieces. All right, so I have a chill day playing Mortal Kombat story mode. I am not a fighting game guy, but from what I have heard, the story mode is bonkers in those games, and yes, it is bonkers. Yes, the new like 9, 10, and 11 story modes have. I mean, I've seen very little of 11, but from 9 and 10, which I watched a lot of, it is a lot of bonkersness, which also comes a bit from the Injustice games story mode stuff as well. Yeah. Zim says looking forward to Mortal Kombat as well. Yeah. I mean, I will probably be looking at video of people playing because I don't really have an interest in picking it up. I've never really liked the Mortal Kombat games as a fighting game. I'm also not really a fighting game person. That's 6 months from Waffle Soup. Thank you, Waffle Soup. Subscribers, feel free to throw that emote in the chat, either Lego or the Bear Cave, whatever you want to throw in. Say thank you to Waffle Soup for that subscription. I enjoyed Injustice 2. I never play online, but playing against AI is fun. Yeah, Robot Crank's here. Hi, Robot Crank. I get it. It is. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've said this before. I'm not a huge fighting game person. I play a lot. I played a lot of Dragon Ball Fighters because I really like Dragon Ball, and it was a really fun Dragon Ball game to play. And I played with friends who were invested in it, who aren't necessarily fighting game people, but also, either had been at one time or just really like Dragon Ball as well. So we had a lot of fun with it. But in general, I am not. I'm trying not to buy games. I'm trying not to spend money right now, so that certainly wouldn't be something that I would spend $60 on since I'm not super into it. But I can watch clips, and I've watched some Twitch streams, people playing and having a good time, which has been nice. So yeah, happy that people are enjoying it and that they're liking the game. Then, let's see, F3 goes in this side here. Look at this. All right, it goes like that. All right. Okay. It goes in there, and then oops. F3 likes to pop out. So put that there. And then I need one more here. The last of our rubber pieces. So good indication that we are coming to the close of this, because we are almost done with this kit. It goes like that, and then we could snap it all together. This is flimsy enough, or thin enough, that I'm trying to make sure that I did it all right, because separating could be trouble. So I'm trying to make sure that I got everything that needs to get together, so that I'm not running into issues when it comes to this and having to separate it. Because sometimes it's easy and simple to do that, and other times you're just like, oh, that fucked up. Oop, I fucked that up. Oop, I fucked that up. So, trying not to do that. Put this stuff here. There's a shop near me that has giant Zaku's 140. I don't remember, but there's some kind of special packaging, a foot to 2 feet tall. It's wild. Damn, Zim, that's big. 140 is a very large kit. That scale is quite big. Yeah, at that point, you might as well build a real robot that size. Might as well, get yourself an R2 to run around. They're already built too. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, at that point, that's for like, I don't know who that's for. Model kit obsessed people, I guess. Like, Q2 is this one. Or building the, oops, barrel here. So we'll try to make sure that we don't drop anything. Q2 goes in like that. But yeah, that's the mega kit. They're 148. Oh, okay. 148. That 1 over 48. That's so big. That's nonsensically large. All right, so G6, G7, 6 on this side, 7 on this side. Yeah, that's high lash brick, and that is such a large kit. Dang. I think 160 is, yeah, I mean 160 is the biggest scale that I've worked in. I think I've built like 172 for things that weren't that big anyway, so they ended up being super large, but yeah. This is definitely the largest of a kit that I've built. Alright, so we got that there. Which goes into this. Alright. Oh. Got here. That's Sage Woman is now following. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that very much. Yeah, folks, if you're not following, consider doing that so you know when I go live. Turn your notifications on. I stream Monday, Thursday, and Saturday, 9 p.m. to 11. And usually on Wednesday or Tuesday, I'll do like a bonus stream now and again. I try to do once a week, just something else, gaming or otherwise. I might do a Twitch Sing stream coming up because I had fun doing it. I did like a couple songs on Wednesday waiting for the chat to fill up for the Jackbox stream on Wednesday, which was very fun. So I might do that again because that was, as I said, enjoyable. I want to say that was some kind of anniversary edition, says Zimorg. Okay, yeah. That sounds right. Those kits. Like that. See, these steps here are like, once you really look at them, it's like, oh, okay, this makes sense, but like, this should be spread out. This step here shouldn't be as condensed as it is. This is just confusing in some ways. Yeah. Tonight's about building. Okay. Finish this up, start our next kit, have fun, keep going. After the break, I'll talk about some anime stuff because I watched a bunch of shows. I did not watch one because I think I might be done with it. I started watching it. I'll say that. We'll talk about anime later and all that, but Demon Slayer, I started watching and then got distracted and then didn't go and finish it because I think I don't like it. Pretty sure. Try to give everything a few episodes, and that one I'm just like, meh. I try not to, well, where does that go? The fuck? I try to do that, give things a few episodes, and then if it doesn't stick, it doesn't stick, but, alright, so there's a bullet, looks like. 06 is a bullet, but it doesn't tell me where it goes. Like, I don't know what I do with it. I guess you just get a bullet for this gun? That's weird. That's very strange. Okay, whatever. The best thing I've learned as I get older is that it's fine to walk away from something. Yeah, Asmo. I mean, like, I'm always willing to revisit. If someone's just like, oh, you know that show that you used to watch, it got this thing happened. Like, uh, there's a, we'll talk about it later when we kind of get into it, but there's a show that last week's episode I didn't really like, but this week's I liked a lot. So I'm like, okay, it just had an episode I didn't think was that funny or good. So, all right, I'm glad I didn't just go, we're done here, and I gave it another episode because I did, like I said, I did like this one. But also, like, if over the course of a couple episodes I'm like, no thanks, not feeling it, like I will say no, and then yeah. I mean, people loved that. People loved the show that I gave up on, and then I never went back to it. The Hamaritsu or whatever. People really loved that show, and it just didn't do anything for me. And I know that like someday I'll go back and watch it, but wasn't enjoying it at the time. And it's like some people's like anime of the year. Yeah, Zim agrees the same about walking away. Yeah, I mean like at a certain point, I do want to watch stuff because it is fun to talk about things that I'm into, and I do like to be able to say, like, hey, I really like this, or whatever. Like, that's enjoyable for me to kind of cheerlead some stuff and champion some stuff. I've always happy to do that. Yeah, so we got all these bullets, and for some reason, they, like, give you an extra bullet, and I don't know why, and it doesn't go anywhere. But yeah. Extra bullet. Hmm. But yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? Like, there's so much entertainment out there. Like, I'm not one to say like, oh, I watch this because I want to be part of the conversation about it, right? Like, uh, I if I'm not into a thing, I don't worry about it. And then yeah, like I said, like I'm always willing to kind of give it another chance or take a second look or anything like that. Like, I'm fine with doing that, but especially when it comes to entertainment, it's like, well, or like, there are YouTube channels that I used to watch that I don't watch anymore because I was like, oh, hey, I haven't looked at this in a long time, or a week or two. I have no interest in going to check them out anymore. I'm just gonna unsubscribe. Why am I subscribed to this? This is not something I want. I think most of my YouTube subscriptions are stuff that I want to check out. The only, like, there's a couple exceptions of like some friends. I follow them even if I don't really watch their content, but I still want to support them. Or I don't watch all of their videos or whatever, but I still, subscribe. And T-Series out of spite, subscribe to T-Series. I don't really need to watch their videos, but sometimes I check them out, and sometimes I'm excited about it. But most of the time, I am just subscribing out of pure spite. Alright, so I don't know where that goes. We'll put on our shoulders here. Okay, almost done. I've also gotten a little better about missing out on the last Avengers movie. I saw it was the one before Civil War. I've already forgotten. Yeah. If there are so many movies in that mega cinematic universe, I mean, that's what they call it. They call it a universe of stuff. So it's okay to be like, yeah, I don't know everything that happens on this thing. It's like totally reasonable. You don't have to follow everything. Like, I don't really need to see the second Ant-Man. I saw the first Ant-Man. I thought it was okay. If I'm on a plane and Ant-Man and Wasp is listed, that's how I might watch that movie. Because I'm not like, oh, I gotta see that. I got, it's like, it was just like, okay, I'm alright. Think I'll be okay. Because I liked it just fine, but not enough to be like wanting to see the second one super bad. But maybe I'll watch it someday and be like, oh shit, I like this a lot. Why didn't I watch this sooner? Okay, so that's the clip there. We'll show that off once I combine it. It's time to assemble. We're ready for assembly. All right. Put this aside. Okay. Head there. Put this on. This is so much of a kit. Oop, oop, that already popped up. Great. All right. So this has got to go in here. Gotta give it room to connect all. Head already came off, which is great. Okay. In place, in place. This has got to go low. Let's put our legs on, and then we'll put our arms on after that. Leg goes here. Oops. Try to be very careful with assembly here as I disconnect everything. Okay. I feel like everything is just going to be like, everything is tough on this. I've heard this is a very top-heavy kit, so I'm not surprised that I'm having some issues getting everything connected, but we'll just take our time with it. You know, try not to break anything, but hope that we can assemble everything right without any problems. Okay, that felt good. That's always the big scare when it comes to assembly of model kits is, well, I'm putting pressure on this. There goes the head. Am I supposed to put pressure on this, or am I fucking things up? All right. Well, now it's in my shot. So that's how tall this kit is that it's in my fucking shot. That should be a good indication of what we're dealing with here. Dang. It's a big kit. Alright, let's we'll attach this like that, like that. Oops. I want to put this on now before I put my legs on. Oops. Or before I put the arms on, I should say. Yep, that piece fell off. And I know that the... Oops. Yeah, I've definitely read some issues that people had about this kit. Big boy season. Indeed, Zim. This is definitely our large friend. This is our large friend. Okay, so let's put shield on here. We'll put the shoulder on here, and remember that we have the issue where I've got to find the piece that goes in there, because that won't just work. And actually, I think I'm going to take that off. Nice and easy. I've had frozen coworkers tell me all about Supernatural, and I'm like, no thanks. That sounds okay, but I can't watch 14 seasons of anything anymore. Yep, I understand. I am like current on knowledge about that show, but not any sort of me watching it. I've seen like clips and stuff and kind of know about it, but that is not something that I have had much of any real knowledge about. All right, let's take the head out here. Try to connect it like this. All right, in, good. We'll do the same thing in the other one. Let's attach the shoulder piece here. Okay. All right, that's on. And we'll get the other arm in here. Like I said, it's that thing where you're putting pressure on it, and that always feels bad. But it's supposed to be happening, so it's fine. It just feels bad. that's the kind of thing I could get into if someone did a here's 34 episodes you should watch and skip all the rest. Yeah, I'm sure that, I mean, also like, hey, it's the internet. There are YouTube videos that are like, here's everything you need to know about season 1 in 15 minutes of Supernatural. Like, I'm sure that there are guides out there, but I don't know what the good ones are because I don't know. But I'm sure that there's like, in the same way that like, I think that if you're casually into One Piece and want to learn more about One Piece, that the Grand Line Reviews YouTube channel is a great resource for that. If you're like, I have some knowledge about One Piece. Now, I know that because I have quite a bit of knowledge about One Piece. So I can tell you that I think the Grand Line Reviews person does a great job. Whereas other people might be like, I want to get into One Piece and I have no idea what to watch. Like, I can only tell you that because because I have some knowledge of it. Be like, oh, this guy does good work. But yeah, I don't know who to tell. I don't know who to tell you who to follow or what videos to watch for Supernatural because I have no knowledge base about what's good about Supernatural. All right, so let's see if I can figure out how to connect this. Guess you just hold it. Huh. Doesn't really talk about. Oh, I guess there is a little thing that pops up on here. Let me see. Waypoints, lore reasons. Yes, Zim. Yeah. Uh, yeah, I'm sure that there are things out there that yeah, if you're interested in a thing, I mean, in some cases they don't know what they're talking about either, but they have enthusiasm and an interest in it, so that's nice. All right, I'm not going to worry about putting the gun on here because there's already so much about this kit. We'll just have the gun for photos, but this is our Zaku 2. This is a monster of a kit. Yeah, that's not gonna. The shoulder piece isn't gonna go on there because, well, I can't find it. I'm gonna look one more time while you all marvel at the giant wonderfulness that is this Zaku 2. Perfect grade, Char Zaku 2, perfect grade. It has been completed as was foretold. We did it. It's happening. Lore Reasons was a great idea, but I just couldn't bring myself to care about Kingdom Hearts in the least. And that's a me thing. Yeah, I mean, like, hey, I didn't like Kingdom Hearts, the first game. The end. Did not enjoy the first one. Did not continue with it. But yes, this is our Zaku 2. We have completed our big model kit friend. Our metal kit friend is complete. I'm going to move some stuff around. Pick up the gun that I just dropped. Gotta pick up a piece here. Drop the gun. Put that there. Fix that. But yeah, for all intents and purposes, this kit is done. It just requires us to photograph it for posterity. But other than that, this kit's donezo. I feel like Pat now has been that thing in one-on-one combat, or gets to run the stream. Indeed. Yes, we'll see. We'll see who reigns supreme, me or this Zaku 2. It's going to be me, but I appreciate that. You want one now? Yeah, Zim. I mean, this thing is wonderful. All right, so I'm going to take my phone out of here, take this out, push this aside. We'll take one photo of this now. I'm going to take a photo of it. And then I'll find that piece at some point and rectify the problem I have there. But for now, just kind of assemble it. I take the weapon out for funsy. Is there a light in the head? Yes. So, Zorbs. There's wiring for it. Yes. So there is you can put a little light in there and run wires, and the wires basically the batteries go in here, so that you can just take the piece off, unscrew the battery pack, put in LEDs, and then turn it on and off in the front of the kit, and then the back of it you can move the eye, which moves it back and forth. But I made the decision not to do the wiring because it was such a pain in the ass in the perfect grade that I was like, I don't want to do this. So instead, I didn't do it. And we just completed the build other than that. It was a stylistic choice. All right, actually, I'll take the photo after. But yes, almost looks like your head is on the Zaku too. Yeah. Do that, or hello, I'm a Zaku too. This is a stupid thing that I'm doing at this moment, but hello. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. All right, enough of that. I'll take a photo after. I don't know why I was going to try to do that there, and then I got to get up and all this other stuff. It's just going to... I'm just so nervous about it. It does not fit in the box. I put it in the box, and the head came off. It does not fit in this small box within the big box. Which is nice. Hey, I wish... Like, I have the Psycho Zaku... I wish that's a big box. I wish that box had a tiny box inside the big box. Do this again, Bandai. This fucking rules. Look how big and wieldy this stupid box is. It doesn't fit in either frame. It's a big box, and they gave us a box to put inside the box, and that rules. They should do that more. I would love if they did that more. It's really annoying. Anyway, I'll take a photo after. I did decapitate that robot. You're right. Okay. Let's just put that in there. I'll take a photo later. Okay, so the next thing we're going to work on is the Saiyan Space Pod. This is the Saiyan Space Pod. It features a Vegeta. Now, folks, maybe like Pat, I think you built this before. And you'd be partially right. I helped, Dan Reichert build this on a Extra Life stream that Giant Bomb did. I came in and hung out with Dan, and we worked on it together. It was a lot of him. It was a lot of me. But we did work on it together. But one thing that happened with that kit was that the person that sent it to him. Now, I've figured this out as best I could. And my belief is the person that sent it to him only sent him the space pod because all of the Vegeta pieces were missing. And it wasn't like some of the Vegeta pieces were missing. Every sheet that featured Vegeta was not there. And I think that someone, and he couldn't remember it, getting nuggets after the stream now. Yes, while we were building while we were doing our construction, we had, there were so many fantastic nuggets, and I had brought some nuggets, not knowing that they were doing a McDonald's run at the same time, that Abby was building like things out of nuggets and chopsticks, which is nonsense. There's a lot of stickers for this kit. It is, in many ways, the pod itself feels very reminiscent of a like a high grade style kit. Yes, she is indeed the Nug Queen, Deltron. You're not wrong. I'm going to change the title of this, so we'll do. I'm going to change the title of my stream, saying Space Pod Kit. We'll just update that. And then tweet out that we're going to start that, and then I'll do all my, before we get into the build of this, I'll talk about it a little bit, the figure eyes, and then I will do my ad read stuff. And you know what I mean by that. It's not real ads, but it's how to subscribe and all the other shit, and support the streams and all that. So I'm just going to reply to my tweet saying, shortly I will start the Saiyan Space Pod Model kit. All right, great. But yeah, so this kit is rad. There's a lot of it's big pieces. As you can see, like big old sections uh, of plastic connector pieces, like for the pod. The Vegeta is pretty basic. I don't know if we're gonna start. Maybe we'll start with Vegeta and build Vegeta and then build the pod after. I think that might be good. Since I've done the pod kind of before, Dan and I did it together, I could start with building Vegeta, which I haven't done on stream. That might be good. You build a Vegeta and then put Vegeta in the pod. I like that idea. You have to whisper while building the tired Saiyan. Yes, so sleepy. Just taking a little old nap. Just so sleepy. GHI. I'm just kind of sorting my pieces here. Get those together. And two, great. But yeah, I think we're going to start with Vegeta, and then when we complete Vegeta, we will move on to doing the space pod for Vegeta. This is good. Basic. Not that he would appreciate that. No. Vegeta is the prince of all Saiyans. He would not like to be referred to as basic. And of course, I would humbly apologize and then say, I only meant that because you also involved the space pod, you could this version of Vegeta is has a scouter, and that's like the only really flare in this one. He's just wearing the Saiyan armor that we know from the series and all that. Okay, so before we get into that build, hi. Thank you very much for hanging out tonight with me. Thank you for the long ride on the Zaku build. Thank you for joining me for what's next. I bought this kit with my own monies out there in the internet land. But that comes from the fact that I do various ways of kind of crowdfunding for to continue being a streamer. First and foremost, bits and coins, always appreciated. As you can see, if you look above the chat, Harold has donated 666 bits and coins. Brown Lantern's at 420. Also, Ultron is at 420, which is fantastic. In May, that will reset, and then there'll be new bits and coin leaders. Bits and coins always appreciated. Subscriptions are always appreciated. Asmo threw in there, and Ultron threw in the emotes. That's for $5, either using your Twitch coin, because if you have Amazon Prime linked with Twitch Prime, you can do that and you get a free coin you can use every month to subscribe to someone, or paying cash money, which is always appreciated. Consider doing that. Being a subscriber very much helps me. The numbers go up. It's more likely that people will see the streams. I'm working on, always trying to grow this channel and letting more people be able to check us out. Consider giving me a follow if you don't already. Turn your notifications on so you know when I'm streaming. That's very helpful. This doesn't need to be the biggest thing in the world. I'm not looking to stream 7 nights a week and do 5 nights of building and 2 nights of various, or 4 nights of building, 1 night of various, 1 night of sleep. I'm not looking to do that. But I do really enjoy building. Especially this particular time in my life, it's very helpful to have a just something fun to do. I look forward to building and to hanging out with all of y'all and talking about anime and talking about pop culture stuff, talking about what's on my mind. That stuff is incredibly helpful for my mental state right now, so I appreciate that very much. Another way you can support me is Patreon. I haven't talked about the levels for a while. For $1, you get a Q&A video that nobody else that is not a Patreon supporter gets. I'm also going to start doing a thing. I'm going to put a post up tomorrow. Once a month, at the end of the month, I'm going to do a wrap-up post, which is like videos from the month that I think hey, if you missed it, check these out. These were cool. And I'm going to include a couple videos in that and do that once a month. And everyone who does that will get that. Patreon video supporters at $5 will get all my videos a day early. The $10 get to vote on kits that I buy or kits that I build. They voted for me to do this Saiyan kit, the Saiyan pod. I put up a list of like, here's 3 things I could build after I finish the Zaku 2. And they chose that. So that's why I'm doing it. It's because of my backlog of kits. They were like, that one, which I appreciate. So that's, you can take a look at that. There's different tiers. I've got an Amazon wish list. You could jump in to check out my Amazon wish list. I'm going to quickly look at a few things there, various things. If you don't see something on the wish list and you're like, I'd buy you this, let me know. And then if something from my wish list arrives while I'm working on this, that'll be the next thing I build. It'll jump the line. I put up the version 2 of the F91, the F91, because I've never built that, and that's a great looking kit. I've got a bunch of stuff in there, and some things are $20, some things are $150, like various prices of model kits and Lego sets. Things that are Amazon Prime, and you should definitely get it because it's Amazon Prime, or things that are like used to be on Amazon Prime and maybe wait for a while. Like various very cool looking kits that I'd all love to buy. And as I said, if there's something you don't see in there, like the Zaku 2 wasn't on there, and Brown Lantern was like, I'd love to see you build that kit, put it on the list. So I did. That's another way to help me out, which is very super helpful. And then I've got a coffee. Any money I make on YouTube ad revenue, which I've only gotten paid out from YouTube once, but eventually I'll get it again. Twitch, Patreon, my coffee, which I'm about to put in there. All that goes into equipment, model kits, stuff like that. The lighting setup that I was given to by a friend, but the umbrellas were both very raggedy and old. I bought new umbrellas for my lights, thanks to the money we got here. I've bought model kits. Like this kit was bought from the money that I made for Patreon one month. All of that goes into me buying equipment and all that, and I really appreciate it. A couple quick plugs. Join my Discord. Anyone can join the Discord. If you're not a subscriber on anything, you're not a patron, just feel free to do it. Anyone can. You can promote yourself in the plugs thread if you do streams or YouTube videos or whatever. You can share photos of stuff you built. You put together an IKEA shelf, put it in the build video photos section. You're working on Lego sets or models or whatever, let me know. I love seeing that. You can also tweet at me. I got a tweet today that was rad. Of people that are working on stuff, and it's always cool to see when people are building things. Yeah, Santini sent me a photo of a bunch of kits, and that was awesome to be able to see on my Twitter. Always appreciate that. And then I think that's it. We can get into building now. I'm getting a lot of notifications on Twitter because Austin Walker retweeted a tweet of mine, and that'll do it. And it was about wrestling, so that'll do it. When this stream is over, go on my Twitter, look at and look for a tweet where I say wrestling is incredible and terrible, and there's a short video from the Vice series about wrestling of that features Dutch Mantel talking about wrestling a bear. A real-life bear. And it is complete and utter, total, what the fuck nonsense. But it's also very wrestling. It's like, fuck you wrestling, and also, I love you so much wrestling. Never change, but also vastly improve, please. So, when I talked about this kit and I called it basic, another reason why I called this version of the model for Vegeta basic is because there's only one head. Often, when you are dealing with model kits, or the Figure Rise series from Bandai that does these kind of kits, you have multiple heads, like different expressions, stickers for the face. There's no stickers for the face here. All the stickers are basically involved in the pod. So it is unusual in that respect. We're getting a lot out of plastic as far as like we're gonna do his eyebrows. Feels very weird to be like, oh, this eyebrow is gonna do a lot of focusing, like what making this Vegeta feel like, yeah, this is a Vegeta that doesn't go Super Saiyan. But it's weird because usually these stickers have multiple faces, multiple heads, and you can kind of mix and match them however you'd like. And this does not do that. This is just like, hey, this is Vegeta. Build this one Vegeta. Okay, shove a piece in there. This will probably be the tiniest piece that we do on this kit, but I'm trying to be careful with it. Because, like I said, we only got one head. I can't screw up a face and replace it, which I might have been able to do on another kit. Also, his eyes are closed, so I guess, you know, because he's sleeping, so you don't have to do anything there. One thing I really like about these figure eyes kits, which is why I keep trying to build them, and, you know, put up the, like, hey, I want to build this. Why I have a bunch of them, like, in the queue, is they're pretty fast to build, but, like, it's really fun to work on a humanoid character, right? You know, we build a lot of Lego sets that are vehicles or occasionally play sets, but mostly vehicles. And when we build robots, obviously like Gundams, we're building a big robot. So it to me is really interesting to put together a humanoid figure, even if it's like Cell or, you know, Piccolo or something. It still feels really cool to do this. All right, so then we got to put a hair like that. But you can just see how, like, as we're adding in the different layers of hair, this is just gonna, like, at a certain point, like, yeah, this is Vegeta, right? Like, that's definitely Vegeta. But at a certain point, it's like, that's fucking Vegeta right there. That is a 100%. Hey, tip to toe, that's a Vegeta. Like, there's no question. It is also weird because he does not have an ear, because we have to put a scouter on his head at some point. And that's weird. That's just weird to look at. This hair is not as sharp as Trunks' hair. Trunks' hair, I think, is the sharpest I've come up. Even the Saiyan hair, Super Saiyan hair, hasn't been as sharp as Trunks'. That was very pointy and sharp. This isn't as bad. Alright, talk about anime. So, as I said, Demon Slayer. Think I might be done with it. Maybe I'll catch up and talk about it on Monday. I don't know. Okay, so I mentioned this sharp hair is required. Indeed. So I talked about the Helpful Fox Senko-san. I'm now up to episode 3. I had watched the first 2 episodes because it was like a late addition to Crunchyroll. So now I'm caught up, and I like it. I like the Helpful Fox Senko-san. The premise is a fucking dude who, other than being nice and a hard worker and generally a good guy, has nothing special about him particularly, but he's like an office worker and he's being pushed too hard and he's suffering, and like there's like a literal dark cloud around him, like a noticeable dark cloud that is just kind of out there and a fucking bummer, and people are bummed out, like subconsciously bummed out to be around him because he's just got a lot of darkness and sadness in his life. And then a demigod, a fox god named Senko, Senko, shows up, and Senko-san's just like, hey, I've got a vaguely defined relationship with you or in your ancestors from the past, I'm going to hang out and like cheer you up and make you some home cooked meals, and I'm going to like clean the bathtub so you can take a bath because you haven't cleaned it in a long time, so you just take showers. And I'm going to like, oh, you have trouble, you have insomnia? Well, guess who hung out your futon so it's nice and warm and feels like the sun and feels like comforting and has a good smell to it? Oh, me, the fox. Uh, and I was like, it's a full length, 24-minute show. And I was like, I don't know if this is going to hold up. This feels like it should probably be like 12 minutes. It should be a half series, maybe. But in the third episode, they introduced the next door neighbor, who is a stay-at-home, like she's an artist, a manga artist, and then she thinks that the fox is a cosplayer, and there's hijinks, and then she thinks that she's cosplaying as like a kid's show Fox. So they watch that. So now this fox demon or fox spirit, I keep saying demon, this fox god now knows about anime, and that's kind of fun. And it's cute. It's a slice of life. It's it's like low pressure. It's not the best show this season. It's nothing to like write home about. But if you're looking for a fun show, and I definitely guarantee that it's more likely that folks that are watching me stream right now have more of a tolerance for like a main character that doesn't do anything, and is just a good guy. Like I really need my main characters to like be a bit more than just like a good dude, a quote unquote good dude. But I'm also like, I've got standards that are very high and are unnecessarily high in many instances. So like I'm saying that many people would be like, yeah, that guy seems nice. Oh, it's cool that he's got a friend. Okay, great. And I'm like being annoying about it. So that's the helpful Fox Senko-san. We never learn. Still very cute, and they keep introducing new characters. I keep liking all the new characters they introduce. We never learn is still fun. It's leaning a little bit in the romance, which like that's part of it. It's a guy that's teaching. He's teaching his fellow students who are two of whom are like literal geniuses, but like the math genius wants to do English and go to college for English, and like the arts genius wants to do math, and so they're very silly in those fields, and so this guy is tasked with like helping them so that he can get money for university, like special recommendation. He's got to do extra shit. And there's flirting, and one of them's tsundere, but not super tsundere, and the other one is just like kind of crushy, and it's fun. I like it. Um, and then there's also a sports girl. There's a swimming girl, and she's tan, and that's fine. And she's also getting kind of competitive. So I knew there was gonna be a lot of love shit in the show, and there is, but it's overall pretty good. Uh, I I watched Space Patrol Luculio recently and loved it. So does he just hang out? Epic World, I think are you talking about like the Senko-san? He's just like a sad dude, like a good dude, but like he's kind of going through some stuff. So she's helping him like come out of his shell, and we'll see more stuff from him as the show goes on, of like him like trying to find the fun again and not be depressed worker drone. I don't know. We'll see. So We Never Learn is good. Joshi Kausei. I'm going to put that in the chat so you can look it up, because I keep saying the second name wrong. This is a 3-minute, it's 3.5 minutes, but there's only an end credit. I didn't like the previous episode. I thought the previous episode was bad. This episode was not bad. It is a silent, there is no dialogue in it. This episode, so it's very short. This episode was like the three main girls eating and being silly and playful and fun together. It is super cute and super nice and sweet and the perfect length. I don't think it could be longer for what it is. But yeah, no character talks. There's a lot of like and like and then a lot of action. And that's juxtaposed with the actual best show of the season. I now think it is literally my favorite show of this season. Like, there was I thought it would be One Punch Man, but One Punch season 2 has not been that strong. But uh, Senryu Girl is so fucking great. I wish it was full length. It's 12-minute episodes. I wish it was full. It's so fucking awesome. I've talked about it. It is a girl who communicates um, through haiku. She writes haiku, and then the voice actress reads them. So you're hearing like her reading it like to herself, but she doesn't speak out loud. She just writes haikus, and she's in a literary club. Like her after school club is literary club. She's in there with like the president of the club, who is the running gag with the president is that like she's spying on the two members of the club who are clearly like maybe gonna date, and so she's like invested in that, and she always wears sunglasses like as she's like checking them out. So anytime the running gag is anytime like they're maybe gonna like have a relationship moment, it cuts to her wearing the same sunglasses like she's awesome. But the main girl just doesn't speak at all. And the thing I love about the show is like teachers are like, "Oh yes, this is how you communicate." Like that happens in the first episode. She holds up a haiku that she wrote, and the teacher goes, "Oh, that's right. You're that student." And there has not been a moment in this show where anyone has been like, "It's weird that you do that." They might be like, "That's convenient," or "That's interesting," or "That could be trouble if this thing happens," or "What do you do about that?" Like they have questions, but nobody's like, "This sucks and you suck." And I love that. To the point where we are introduced in this week's episode with a character that also doesn't like to talk, but instead likes to draw. And she's like got a notebook, and she like she draws herself and writes dialogue and then holds it up to her face like and immediately like, oh, the haiku girl and the drawing girl are instantly like, hell yeah, we're gonna get along just fine, this is gonna be cool. And they're like, you should join our literary club. And they do a whole episode of them drawing and stuff, and like it's immediately people are just like on board with her, and no one's like, it's weird that you draw. And in fact that like she was trying to return the student handbook or student ID card of like the main dude, the main dude in the show, and he thought that she was stalking him because she was like she couldn't approach him because he's a scary looking dude. That's the thing. The dude in the show is got like blonde hair, and people picked fights with him, so he became a good fighter because people picked fights with him. But he's just a dummy. He's just a big dummy, a lovable dummy, which is very trite in anime, but like in this show works because he's not harmful. He's like, you're like, yeah, dude, express yourself. It's awesome. Zim says it sounds real cute. It's super cute. Um, it's like just so positive where like they're almost like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought you were a stalker. I can understand why you'd be nervous around me because I'm like a scary looking dude. It's just positive and sweet. And there's another character that's very minor. She's only appeared like in a little bit, but it's very clear that she also has feelings for the dude. Like that's the least fun part. It's only fun because he's so dense that she's like dropping so many hints about them dating, and he's just like does not pick it up, does not get it, is so dumb. That's still kind of fun, even though I'm not as interested in that as I am of like them all interacting and being friends and all that. Like the romance part is the part I'm interested in least. But it is Senryu Girl. It is the anime of the season. I assumed it would be One Punch Man Season 2, but that has not been great, so it's been fine. This last episode was good. This week's One Punch Man Season 2 was good, but overall, the show has been pretty much a disappointment, which is a disappointment. Alright, so I need H13. G. H13. Great. White glove. But yeah, that's my recommendation. I think it's real good. I'm trying to see if there's any. And like I said, Demon Slayer, I didn't watch this week's episode. So I'm now at the point now where, because I'd watched, Fruits Basket relaunch. It's good. I hadn't watched like all of. I watched all of Fruits Basket when it first came out, like the first version of it. I watched the whole thing. I was very familiar with it, but it's been a long time, and I'm starting to like now wonder like, am I forgetting this from the anime? Is this from the manga that wasn't in the first version of it? Like I'm starting to question like stuff about it. Like, why don't I remember this, or is this like new to the series? And that's good. That's very good because I don't want to just be thinking about the old series. I want to be thinking about this one. I like it a lot. I think Fruits Basket is really solid. It's it's a straight up drama. There's some laughs to it. There's some goofiness, obviously, like dealing with the fact that this extended family has, all of the, not everyone, but a lot of the people in the family have this curse where if they are touched by someone of the opposite sex, they turn into an animal that they represent from the zodiac. And then there's also the 13th, which is the cat, which is not part of the story and is like the black sheep of the family. But the real thing about the black sheep of the family stuff is that like that dude, like they go into it, he's got it rough and has a lot of fucking issues, and then has some other stuff going on. But the main thing is that like you kind of forget sometimes the main character in Fruits Basket is an orphan. She's introduced to all this family because she has been secretly camping out on their land so while she goes to school, because she's an orphan and didn't want to bother people by being like, I need help, I need a place to live. She was just like, well, I'm an orphan, I guess I'll camp so that I don't bother my friends with the fact that I am homeless. And then she's discovered and taken in by this family. And she's still, through most of the show, and they keep referencing her mom. Her mom is like a big point of flashbacks and stories and all that. Like, she's this way because her mom was super positive. But it's a thing where you're like, you can be sad, girl. Like, if you want to be bummed out about some stuff and like let that shine through, let it. But, that's her dysfunction. That's her coping mechanism is fixing other people. It's very clear. That's the thing I did not get the first time I watched, like when Fruits Basket was first on, like 2001, when I first watched the show. I did not understand grief and codependency and fixing other people so that you're not focusing on yourself or any of that stuff. I had no concept of any of that. So I was always just like shocked that this like very positive girl was like focusing so much on trying to help people. And now I realize, oh yeah, she was not dealing with her own sad truths. That makes sense. But yeah, it's good. It's a fine show. I'm happy I can watch it. I'm watching everything on Crunchyroll other than One Punch Man Season 2. Originally, because it just got added like this week or last week, the version of what do I want to call it? Oh, the what was I gonna say? Sorry, Wise Man's Grandchild is the name of it. It's a bad English name. Wise Man's Grandchild is not good. I don't care if it's like accurate. It just feels clunky to say. Like it's not a good name. It's a fine enough isekai show, but It's just a bad name, I think. Um, but yeah, that was originally just on Hulu, and then it showed up on Crunchyroll now. They did that with a few shows, um, which is weird. I don't know what's. I mean, I don't know what's going on there, but I was very surprised about that. All right, so now we're doing basically. We're gonna by the end of this stream, we will have finished Vegeta. That's how quick this version. How like because he's just sitting in the pod. Like there's no articulation in this. He doesn't. You can't do anything with this Vegeta. You're just putting him in a pod. Uh, do do do. So yeah. So we're just like this is a really easy Vegeta to put together. Is what I'm saying. Because it's not the whole kit. The kit is really the space pod, but I felt like it was fun to start with Vegeta because I knew that we would at least get him done, and then we can start the pod. But this also will be a pretty quick kit. I'm going to put out a poll on Monday for my $10 patrons. Plug. My $10 patrons will decide on what I build next because this will not take too long to do. I'll probably complete this on Monday. So now I need to think about what I want to build next. If there's anything you want to chat about tonight in the last half an hour of our stream, feel free to let me know. I'm always interested in hearing from y'all about what you're into, what you're excited about. If there's something you want to chat about. Saturday night's also the night where sometimes y'all are quiet, which is fine. I understand that. But it's also often for me the end of my week, and I'm a little out of stuff. The fact that this Vegeta has no articulation makes me ask why the person that sent Dan's kit kept it. Yeah, I don't know. Ultron, I don't know. But like I said, that's my theory. I have no proof to that. But as best I could figure, that's what happened. Because literally, like, the only part of that kit that was, like, I don't remember. I didn't look to see if because this kit, other than the Scouter, all these pieces are separate from that. The Scouter is part of that. And I don't remember if the Scouter was still in there or if it had been removed. That would have been a good indication if the plastic piece of the Scouter was removed. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. That's still my theory. Because it doesn't make sense for it to be, like, missing the way it was. So, my prevailing thought has always been that somebody snagged it out. And then sent Dan the rest of it. Alright. You can see, it's tail. Got a tail right there. Put that in there. But, and then that, and Vegeta is done. Sleeping Vegeta. There's our sleeping Vegeta. Maybe it was secondhand to them, and they didn't want without Vegeta, so they passed it on to Dan. That also could be true. It could have been someone got it and was like, shit, there's no Vegeta in here. You know what? I'll send that to Dan. Maybe. But, well, we have a Vegeta, so that's good. Alright, I guess we're going to start building our space pod. We got the time. We can get started on it. Gonna just kind of organize this a little bit. Pieces are kind of big, so there's A. Just take C1 out of here. This kit is lots of big pieces, so yeah, I'm definitely going to have to run a poll because I'm going to finish this during the stream on Monday. Like, I'm going to, yeah, put a poll up. Maybe I'll put a poll up tomorrow for my $10 patrons and say, like, hey, what should I build next? Because this will not take long to do. I mean, the stickers take a little while, but I need to get going on that. Because yeah, this is not going to take too much time to do. Like I said, it will be a lot of like adding in the stickers and taking my time with it and trying to do that right. Will definitely be part of it. Um, Two there. We got D. We got B. B. And E. Alright, now I got that organized, so that's good. Easier to put it all there. But yeah, we'll do E. My daughter has been watching My Hero Academia. She's really getting into anime. That's awesome, Zorbs. I love hearing that. And also, yeah, I mean, like, My Hero is, there's some, there's some fucking emotional depth to it, certainly. But as far as, like, it is unique in its portrayal of a hero, of the hero's story, and, like, growth and growing and trying to be more, and, like, it's such a lovely show that I'm psyched that your daughter's getting into it. It's real good. Um, you might not want to hear the loudness that is Asta, but I might recommend Black Clover. It is she wants to cosplay as Deku. Oh, my heart. But yeah, I might recommend Black Clover because Black Clover is another like positive, like it's action. It's maybe a little bit more adult than My Hero, but there's a lot of comedy in it as well. Um, and like My Hero, there is one character that fucking sucks, and you got to deal with the fact that you know there's one dude that you're like, I wish this guy was not on screen right now talking. I wish he would go away, because every show needs that, I guess. Um, but yeah, yeah, Torbs, I would check out. It's a lot. There's a bunch of episodes. There's a lot to watch. Um, it is, but it is generally about like being positive and making the best of it. Like it's a show about a guy that wants to become the Wizard King, who is the number one wizard in the kingdom, the best wizard. He wants to become the number one wizard, and his overlying problem is that he does not have any magical ability. He has no talent for magic, but he does get a grimoire. But the grimoire, which all magicians have, they're supposed to contain their spells. His grimoire is just a big sword that like deflects or neutralizes magic. So he's like, well, I guess I got to be good with a sword. I watch it on Crunchyroll. I believe it's dubbed on Funimation, but I look into it. But I watch it. Yeah, I watch it subtitled on Crunchyroll. But yeah, and it's just like, and he's yelling at a dummy, and he joins like the misfit crew, and they are fucking misfits. But this last episode that happened this week, it was awesome to watch even the jokier characters like get fucking pissed off because it looks like someone is going to hurt one of their members, and everyone is just like, that's not gonna fucking happen. It's on. Oh shit. All right. What do you think you're doing? Like, nah. And that's incredible. But overall, really, I think Black Clover has like that vibe. People don't like it because the main character yells all the fucking time. Like he's always at 11. But it's got so much heart that I really like it. And you do have to deal with the fact that Gotch is a dude that like is obsessed with his younger sister and protecting her, and is creepy and weird and sucks. And they do it for laughs, and that sucks. But every show has that character that you're just like, what if you fucking weren't there? It's the Mineta, right? Like there's gonna be a character that you're just like, get out of here. What if you didn't? And it's like the fucking electricity guy, or not the tape guy. The tape guy's a pervert, but he's a teen. So you're like, yeah, all right. But he's not like a creepo like Mineta. Like you're just like, okay, all right. Why don't you calm the fuck down? That dude and what's his name? The tape guy and the electricity guy. You're like, all right, you're pervies, but you're teens and kind of expect that. You're not goddamn nightmares. Shouldn't be superheroes. Because your power kind of sucks anyway. How can all the boys not be purged with Midnight being a teacher? I mean, Robot Crank, like, that's a fair statement. It is certainly, I mean, they're young people. They're experiencing things. Now they're in a dorm-style housing. Uh, Literally, like, outside of, like, not all of, but a lot of their, if they are, straight characters, they're the people that they're interested in are wearing very revealing clothing consistently. Like, yeah, makes sense. I get that. I understand. I'm not like trying to say whatever, but like Mineta is too far because he is clearly a fucking problem. Dude needs to fucking figure some shit out. All right. Yeah. All right. So I'm just doing stickers as we go. Nothing major with these. Nothing really to talk about with this too much. Just applying stickers to this big piece. Obviously, this is a big old fucking thing. So 12 and 14. All right. 12. Oh, okay. Do, 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 do. Oops. Having a little trouble applying these stickers. I think it's mainly just for me being tired tonight, but should be fine. We want to do all of them because there's, it's a lot of the detailing in this. It's like building a high grade. You want to have it all look good. Oops. But yeah, if there's anything y'all want to chat about tonight, let me know. We got another 20 minutes. I might end a little early on Saturdays. I tend to end a little early on a Saturday. I want to thank everybody for watching tonight, though. I know that there's obviously big old entertainment out there otherwise, big movies and such. And I'm asking for your focus on a Saturday evening. Of course, for some of you, it is still very early on a Saturday, so maybe you've got other plans, and this is just pre-gaming. But for many folks, it is, Saturday evening for you. So I appreciate you spending some time with me here. We're going to still keep building this stuff. I'll say this: I got invited. More details soon. I got invited to join a team that is raising money for charity next month. So I'll be doing a charity stream next month. No details as of yet. Most likely. So part of me was like, oh, I guess I'll do another singing stream. But since I already just did that in this month, in April, let me know what you think. Like, send me a tweet, mention it in the Discord, and maybe I'll start a post in the Discord. I don't know what to do for it. I want to do a charity stream. I don't think it should be a building stream. Retro wrestling game, says Ultron. I could do that. I could play some old wrestling games. Robot Crank saw the movie 8:30 this morning. Good call, Robot Crank. Yeah. But yeah, I'm I've been thinking. I've been kind of racking my brain. I have time. I have plenty of time. Like I said, I don't know when exactly I'm going to do it. This stream, but it will be in May, and it will be for St. Jude's. I've been thinking about maybe doing like a Jackbox stream where I play with the chat, but I also invite some friends and make available some games for just them, and have like a Discord open for just those people. So like it'll be, some people will be able to do it, and like and some will, it'll be like, oh, I put the code in this Discord and I got my friends playing, and then a few spots will be in for other people, and then we'll rotate in and out. So I'm thinking I might do that. I might do like a Jackbox Drawful stream to raise money. Um, but I'll have to think of incentives and various other things for that. But I don't think, yeah, like I said, I don't think I want to do another um, just singing stream, because I think I just did that, and I don't think that would hit the numbers that I would like to hit. I gotta think about that. But then I'm like, okay, well then I also have to think about incentives for that. Like, what would people be interested in? Is it like, do I do prizes again? Do I just do a stream and ask for money and do some in-game stuff? Like, when we hit this amount of money, we'll play this with this person, or what? I don't know. I got to think about it. I do like the idea of some retro wrestling games, but I would have to have people with me, because otherwise I'd be playing them by myself, and I think that gets old real quick. Just like playing those old games. So I don't know. I don't have to, like, mostly it's just like having a bunch of people and like putting together a team, and the team effort part I think would be fun. All right. Okay. All right, so we did one big side of this. This is going to, like, go in here eventually, and then we'll do the other side. But yeah, I mean, if you have thoughts on that, let me know what you think. If you're like, you should think of anything like, oh yeah, because like I think like if I do like a 2-hour or 3-hour stream of Jackbox stuff where I played like stuff with the chat, and I played like some games with some internet friends. Like, I think that's like a nice fun thing. Like, hey, I found this, and like maybe do it like in the afternoon, like on a Saturday afternoon stream, like, separate from my normal streams. Always want to make those separate. You'd watch some Jackboxes Ultron. Yeah, I think like if I did like a Saturday afternoon and found a time where I could get like some people together, and maybe some internet friends that we like to kind of come in and do it, I think that could be neat. So I don't know. I'm playing around with it. It would be the mid of May, because I would want it to be like at least a month away from this, um, and just try to like get some folks together, raise some money for charity. But I would want to separate it, because you folks were so generous with the Extra Life, or not the Extra Life, the Pencils for Promises stream. People were incredibly generous, and I don't want anyone to think that I'm like, oh, you're just doing it again? Like, what the fuck? Like, I want it to feel like an event, so I'm trying to think of ways to make it feel like it is an event. So, and not just like me, like another, it's just like a regular stream or whatever, so. I mean, the real secret is, not the real secret, the real fallback is if I ever need to do it, I've always got the ability to do the old like push-up thing. Like, hey, we hit another incentive. It's time for more push-ups. Like I don't think for the St. Jude's I would do another raffle or anything like that, because that gets expensive. But yeah, it might be something where it's like, oh, it's time for push-up club. Like that's an old standard. That gets the ball rolling. That gets people wanting to donate. Or I could do something like, I guess I could do like, hey, we hit Jackbox, we hit this incentive. Now I have to sing a song in between Jackbox games, or something like that. I don't know. Yeah, maybe I could do that. I'm thinking out loud right now. Oh, but if I had people coming to play, yeah, actually, now that I'm thinking out loud. Like that could be a fun incentive. Like, okay, we did, like this is the block where I'm playing with a bunch of friends. We start off by playing, and then we play with some folks from the chat as well, and then all right, all my friends finished up, and that's awesome. And now let's play. Now let's play. Um, like now I'll sing some songs because we hit certain goals or something like that. Ultron asks, it's not a marathon thing, just a regular link stream. Yeah, so it's an ongoing thing where, like, for the month of May, a friend of mine is running a team to raise money for St. Jude, and so they will do certain streams where they are focusing on fundraising, and they're going to invite people to also do that, and uh, and incentivize. And usually it's like, sometimes it's marathons. Some people do marathons. Some people do stunts. But sometimes it's just like, hey, today's stream, I'm not going to talk about, wait, what am I doing here? I'm not going to talk about, oh, sorry. I'm just getting tired here. Sorry about that, everybody. I'm not gonna, talk about my own thing. I'm not gonna ask for people to subscribe. I'm not gonna promote like what I'm doing. Like it's a separate thing from the normal thing. So for me, it wouldn't be like a build stream because that's what I normally do. It would be a special stream that like we do something a little different, and then I trying to raise money and like really promoting that. So I think that's kind of what we would do. So it would be just like a separate week, stream separate from the normal build stream with the focus on playing games. And then, like, once I know what date I'm doing, I would then try to get people to come in and, like, set some time to play some games with me and be in Discord. I think that would be pretty cool. So yeah, now that I'm like thinking out loud, I think that's what it would be. It would be like a Jackbox stream where I played with chat, but I also tried to bring in some friends from outside. All right. I'm going to attach these pieces here, and then I am going to call the stream because I am getting, I'm reaching that point where I'm just like, yep, I'm slow on the uptake. But this is coming along really well. We'll attach this, and then we will do the wrap up. But I'll be back on Monday. If you want to check in, I will be finishing up this kit, finishing this together here on Monday. So you can come check that out, and then I will be working on the next thing. Like I said, tomorrow I'm going to put out a post for my $10 patrons and be like, hey, what should I build next? And see what they have to say, what they would like to see me construct after I finish this, because this will not take super long. I don't know if I'll finish it on Monday, but I'll definitely get pretty far along with the build. It goes like that. But yeah, I mean, we already got like the back and the sides done, and we got to do like more of it, like connecting pieces, but we're getting a lot done here. So thanks so much for watching the stream. Thanks for hanging out. Make sure you are following me here so you get updates when I go live with my streams. I want to thank you for hanging out. I hope you have a great rest of your Saturday, or the beginning of your Sunday. Thank you very much for hanging out here on the Build with Baer workshop. I'll be back Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Thank you. Yeah, throw that Bear Cave emote in there. Throw the Lego emote. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I will say I'm not going to do a raid or anything, but let me look to see. Xandra, you know what? Xandra is streaming right now. So that's let me. I'm going to put it in the chat here. Why not go hang out with Xandra? She made all of these wonderful emotes that you see here on the stream. I put the link in the chat. Go to Xandra's Twitch if you're looking for something to watch tonight. Apparently, checking out Magic the Gathering. That sounds fun. But thank you very much for hanging out with me tonight. I'll see you on Tuesday in the next Build with Baer workshop. Goodbye.